Greetings, everyone. This is Robert Landau, Live Life Well TV host, and we are here with another episode of a weekly trivia program here on Live Life Well TV that we call True or False. This episode, we take a special look at countries of the world. So, with that in mind, stay tuned. All right, so we are here with a special tribute to countries of the world. And with that in mind, here's the first true or false trivia country-minded question for you. True or false, there are no McDonald's restaurants in Jamaica. What do you think about that? True or false, there are no McDonald's restaurants in Jamaica? Well, believe it or not, that answer happens to be true. And here is why. McDonald's doesn't always take off in other countries. China, yeah. I think the largest McDonald's in the world happens to be in Beijing, but not so in places like Jamaica. Jamaica just didn't get into the fast food chain's product, and it just turned out not to be a great fit. True or false, Switzerland has the highest rate of twins born in the world. What do you think about that one? True or false, Switzerland has the highest rate of twins born in the world? That answer happens to be false. Even though 3% of the world's population happens to be twins, a country by the name of Benin, Benin, in Africa, happens to have the highest rate of twins born anywhere in the world. The country states that 28 pairs of twins are born for every 1,000 births. And if you really think about it, that's a lot of twins for every 1,000 births there. But it's not Switzerland. By the way, we'd like to acknowledge HowStuffWorks.com for much of the information in this episode of True or False. And speaking of true or false, how about this? There are no mosquitoes in Iceland. What do you think? True or false? There are no mosquitoes in Iceland. The answer to that happens to be true. And you know what? Nobody quite knows why there are no mosquitoes in Iceland. But boy, lucky Icelandic folk, don't you think? Next up is this. True or false, the average height of someone living in the Netherlands is 6 feet 4 inches tall. True or false, the average height for somebody living in the Netherlands happens to be 6'4". True or false? That happens to be true. Well, kind of true. And I say that because people in the Netherlands are definitely tall. Certainly when you compare their height to other people in other parts of the world. But they're also tall, like the Netherlands, in Denmark, Norway, Croatia, and Germany. But tall in those countries, including the Netherlands, means about 6 feet tall instead of 6 feet 4 inches tall. So there you go. I'm not from the Netherlands. True or false? More than 99% of the world's fresh water can be found in Antarctica. True or false? More than 99% of the world's fresh water can be found in Antarctica. What do you think about that? Well, if you thought that the answer might be true, you are wrong. It's actually false, and here's why. Antarctica is home to 90% of the world's ice and 70% of the world's fresh water. It is not home to 99% of the world's fresh water in total. Next, for your true or false consideration, we have this for you. True or false? Speeding fines. I love this one. True or false? Speeding fines in Finland are based on how much money you make. True or false? Speeding fines in Finland are based on how much money you make. And that is so odd, it actually is true. Believe it or not, some Finns have paid $100,000 for driving only 15 miles over the speed limit there. I just don't even know what to say to that. Next up, true or false, there is only one official language listed in Papua New Guinea. True or false, there is only one official language listed in Papua New Guinea. That actually is false, and you'll be astounded as to why. Get this, it is actually quite the opposite in Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea has the most languages spoken in any country on earth. How is that so, and what might the exact number of languages spoken there might be? Well, get this. There are more than 850 languages spoken in Papua New Guinea. And Papua New Guinea, by the way, if you look at it on a map, it's not a big country. Over 850 languages? Wow. Next up is this. True or false, the country of Monaco is smaller than Central Park in New York City. The country of Monaco is smaller than Central Park in New York City. True or false? That, you might have guessed, happens to be true. Around 400,000 people live in beautiful Monaco, an area that is smaller than New York City's Central Park. True or false? The small nation of Macau generates 20% more gambling revenue than Las Vegas. True or false? The small nation of Macau generates 20% more gambling revenue than Las Vegas. That happens to be false. The independent nation of China is indeed a gambler's haven. That's really one of the main things that Macau is known for, but only 7 times the revenue of Las Vegas when it comes to gambling can be found in Macau, which actually is still pretty impressive if you think about it. True or false? Zurich and Geneva are the official co-capitals of Switzerland. True or false? Zurich and Geneva are the official co-capitals of Switzerland. That answer happens to be false. Believe it or not, there is no official capital of Switzerland. The seat of the government there is located in Bern, but there is no official capital. True or false? Drivers in Japan drive on the right side of the road. True or false? Drivers in Japan drive on the right side of the road. That happens to be false. Even though Japan never fell under British rule, just like in the UK and other places that are obviously under British rule, if you drive a car in Japan, you better get used to driving on the left-hand side of the road instead of the right. True or false? China is home to the most Google and Facebook users in the world. True or false, China is home to the most Google and Facebook users in the world? That actually is false. And you want to know why? Because Google and Facebook happen to both be banned in China. Pretty good reason, huh? As to why that's false, at least. True or false, Canada has the longest coastline on the planet. True or false, Canada has the longest coastline on the planet. That happens to be true. It's a very cold coastline, but nevertheless, it is the longest coastline. Next up for you, we have this. True or false, it is illegal to carry 3 packs of gum in your luggage when entering Singapore. True or false, it is absolutely illegal to carry 3 packs of gum in your luggage when entering Singapore. Believe it or not, that happens to be true. Prohibited items are not allowed to be imported into Singapore, such as chewing gum, except dental and medicated gum, chewing tobacco, and imitation tobacco products. For example, electronic cigarettes. Don't even think of bringing any of those into the incredible, beautiful country of Singapore. True or false? The National Army of Vatican City is larger than the Canadian and Australian armed forces combined. True or false, the National Army of Vatican City is larger than the Canadian and Australian armed forces combined. That happens to be false. The Vatican doesn't even have an official army. It does have its own police force, and Italy, where of course the Vatican happens to be located, protects the Vatican as well. Next up is this. True or false, it is illegal to drive with flip-flops in 17 U.S. states. True or false, it's illegal to drive wearing flip-flops in 17 U.S. states. That happens to be false, but if you ask me, that should be a law in all U.S. states. But as of the moment, it's okay to drive wearing flip-flops. At least in the United States. True or false, it is illegal to own a red car in Shanghai, China. True or false, it is illegal to own a red car in Shanghai, China. What do you think about that? True or false? That's actually false. You can have a red car in Shanghai, China, and drive it without any issues. True or false, London's Buckingham Palace is the largest residential palace in the world. True or false, London's Buckingham Palace is the largest residential palace in the world? That is false. The Royal Palace in Madrid and the Romanian Parliament are some of the largest palaces in the world, actually much larger than Buckingham Palace. 2 more before we take our leave of this episode. 2 more, and the second to last true or false question for you goes like this. True or false? China has more billionaires than any other country on Earth. True or false? China has more billionaires than any other country on Earth. That happens to be false. It's actually the USA. We have the most billionaires, and get this, there are over 580 billionaires in the United States of America, and I'm not one of them. Last question for this episode, at least, goes like this. True or false, Australia is the biggest island in the world other than Antarctica. True or false, Australia is the biggest island in the world other than Antarctica. That is false because Greenland is the biggest island in the world. There you go. Thank you so much for attending. I hope you had fun and learned a couple of things because I did as well. This has been Robert Landau, Live Life Well TV host with another episode of True or False. Thanks for tuning in and God bless.